I'm Robert F. Smith, and this is the story of how I became America's wealthiest black man. You better get ready, because this is going to be one heck of a ride. You see, growing up in Denver, Colorado in the 1960s and 70s, I never imagined I'd one day be worth billions. My parents were both school principals with PhDs, hardworking educators who instilled in me the values of education, perseverance, and giving back, even when money was tight. I remember watching them write checks to the United Negro College Fund every month. So I think I always knew that money was more than just money. It was a means to an end. As a kid, I was always curious about how things worked. I loved taking apart electronics and putting them back together. In high school, that curiosity led me to set my sights on an internship at Bell Labs. There was just one problem. The internship was only for college students. But did you think I was gonna let that stop me? I called Bell Labs every single day for 5 months straight. Each time, I'd give them a new reason why they should hire me. I'm sure they got sick of hearing from me, but I wasn't going to give up. I was either going to make them accept me or eventually end up with a restraining order against me. Fortunately, when an MIT student didn't show up, they called me and offered me the position. That summer at Bell Labs changed my life. I developed a reliability test for semiconductors and got my first real taste of innovation. More importantly, I learned the joy of solving complex problems, a skill that would guide me from that moment until now. After high school, I headed to Cornell University to study chemical engineering. It was challenging, but I thrived on the rigorous coursework. I graduated in 1985 and landed a job at Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. A few years later, I moved to Kraft Foods as a chemical engineer. There, at Kraft, I really hit my stride. I developed new coffee filtration systems that earned me 4 patents. 2 in the US and 2 in Europe. But as much as I enjoyed the work, I had a nagging feeling that I wanted to do more. So in 1992, I took a big risk. I quit my stable job at Kraft and enrolled at Columbia Business School to get my MBA. It was a gamble, but I knew I needed to expand my skill set if I wanted to make a bigger impact. After graduating from Columbia in 1994, I landed a coveted position at Goldman Sachs in their technology investment banking division. This is where things really started to take off for me. I spent 6 years at Goldman, overseeing $50 billion in mergers and acquisitions for major tech companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Yahoo. There, among the numbers and the statistics of winnings, I felt like I had found my place. Working at Goldman gave me an intimate look at how the biggest tech deals were made. I saw firsthand how software was transforming industries and creating massive value. By 2000, I was ready to strike out on my own and put everything I'd learned into practice. That's when I founded Vista Equity Partners. From day one, I had a very specific vision. I wanted to focus exclusively on enterprise software companies. A lot of people thought I was crazy. Software businesses were seen as risky investments because they didn't have many tangible assets. But I saw something others didn't. I recognized that software, especially subscription-based enterprise software, could generate incredibly reliable, predictable revenue streams. You see, these weren't just companies, they were cash flow machines. Of course, convincing investors to buy into this vision wasn't easy. I had to completely reframe how people thought about software businesses. I positioned their future revenue streams as debt-tolerant annuities that could be financed. And I pitched Vista as the ideal firm to tap into this untapped market. Trust me, this part was truly the hard work. It took time, but eventually, the market started to see what I saw. We raised our first fund and began acquiring enterprise software companies across industries, from healthcare to oil and gas. But wait, that's not where the story ends. Buying companies was only the first step. The real magic happened after the acquisition. We developed a proprietary system called Vista Best Practices, a set of over 100 operating procedures that we use to completely transform the companies we buy. It's something really great, so let me break down how it works. First off, we only go after companies whose software is absolutely crucial for their clients. Think of it like finding a gem that's essential to its customers. Once we made the purchase, we bring in our team of 100 internal experts. These folks dive into the business, completely overhauling everything. We don't just tweak things. We upgrade all their processes and systems to match our Vista standards. For example, if a company's customer service system is outdated, we revamp it to be more efficient and user-friendly. If their financial processes are clunky, we streamline them to save time and reduce errors. It's like giving the company a fresh start with a new set of best practices that set them up for long-term success. We're meticulous about it, from administering personality tests to employees, to building automatic price increases into contracts, to incentivizing cross-selling. It's like running these companies through a fine-tuned machine. When they come out the other side, their margins are higher and they're operating far more efficiently. Now, this systematic approach allowed us to generate returns that consistently outperformed the rest of the private equity industry. While others were happy with returns in the low 20% range, our funds were delivering internal rates of return of 31%. And believe me, it's paid off big time. As Vista grew, so did my personal wealth. By 2018, Forbes named me the richest Black person in America, even richer than Oprah. But I'm not bragging about it. Well, at least not too much. However, I quickly understood that I needed to stay grounded. So just like my parents taught me, I set my sights on the less fortunate. I signed the Giving Pledge, committing to donate the majority of my wealth to charitable causes during my lifetime. I've given millions to preserve Black heritage sites, fund cancer research, and expand educational opportunities for students of color. In 2019, during a commencement speech at Morehouse College, I stood before the graduating class, and I made a spur-of-the-moment decision that would change hundreds of lives. I announced that I would be paying off the student loan debt for the entire graduating class. The room erupted in cheers. Students and parents were crying, hugging each other. It was an incredible moment. All told, it cost about $34 million to clear the debt for those 400 graduates. Why did I do it? Because I know firsthand the transformative power of education and the crushing weight of student debt. And because I believe everyone deserves the chance to follow the same path I took to become a self-made billionaire. Today, Vista Equity Partners manages over $86 billion in assets. We have investments in more than 70 software companies that employ tens of thousands of people worldwide. If you combined all our portfolio companies, we'd be one of the largest enterprise software companies in the world, right up there with Microsoft, Oracle, and SAP. Not bad for an African American, right? My net worth continued to climb, reaching $9.2 billion in 2023. This made me not only the richest Black person in America, but also the third richest Black billionaire in the world. But beyond the numbers, there's a real impact we're having. The companies we invest in are solving real problems, making blood tests more accurate, oil wells more efficient, and countless other innovations that improve lives and drive progress. Looking back, from that persistent high school kid calling Bell Labs every day to where I am now, it's been quite a ride. I've had incredible highs and some painful lows. I've made billions and lost millions. I've been praised as a visionary and criticized for my mistakes. But through it all, I've tried to stay true to the values my parents instilled in me. The importance of education, the power of perseverance, and the responsibility to give back. My story proves that the American dream is real. I'm living proof of it. It might be a bit tougher for us in our community, but I like to believe it's not impossible. At least I'm doing my part to make sure it isn't. So, to any young person out there with big dreams, I say this: be persistent, be curious, never stop learning. And when you achieve success, remember to lift others up along with you. That's how we create lasting change and build a legacy that goes beyond just accumulating wealth. I'm Robert F. Smith, and I am self-made. This is my story. So far, the next big thing? Well, that's just waiting to happen.